All right, welcome to the fourth and final game of the evening. Up this time is the New Zealand story, Untold Adventure. The New Zealand story comes back to life with Bitobit. Experience the adventure of Tiki, the little Kiwi created by Taito in 1988, in a colorful 2D platformer full of challenges and nostalgia. Right. So that's a pretty good encapsulation of the basics here. Um, so I don't think the New Zealand story is directly connected to the Bubble Bobble universe, but it's definitely in the mold. Like one of the platformers that Taito released in the wake of the huge success that Bubble Bobble had.
And I wasn't it
Um,
using
there were
that
others.
that engine?
No, what now?
Wasn't it using Bubble Bobble's engine?
Probably. There were others like Liquid Kids, um, and the New Zealand story has existed in the kind of the second tier of that dynamic. Like it's not it's not as popular as like Bubble Bobble or Rainbow Islands, but it's not like obscure. Uh, No, far from it. Like it's gotten a whole bunch of ports and remakes over the years. Um, let's see. And my own personal experience with the original New Zealand story, never played it back in the day. Um, like I never saw it in the arcade. Again, I never saw like Bubble Bobble in the arcade. Um, didn't play it on the NES. And I do think it came out over here. It's just um another thing is Taito's platformers, I think with the exception of Bubble Bobble, have actually been more popular in Europe um than over here. Rainbow Island in particular, absolutely huge in Europe. With certain ports being considered to be among like the best Commodore 64 games, the Elite Amiga titles, and so on and so forth. Um, but yeah, never played any of the home versions back in the day. My first experience was on the Taito Legends pack, and I thought it was okay. To a certain point. That point is it's an arcade platformer. It's quite, you know, crushy. Um, and knowing how Taito develops their games, it's probably filled with secret bullshit that you had to decipher in order to get the true ending. Like, not 100% sure on that, but you know, Bubble Bobble had that. I think Rainbow Islands, and so on and so forth. Bubble Symphony, um, very much had that. So anyway, yeah, this game has a bit of a pedigree behind it. And now we've got trying to think of the best word here. And I think soulless, ironically enough. Um, not so much in terms of intent. Like I do not think the developers um saw the nabbed the game, nabbed the license in a cynical attempt to use this property for a quick buck.
Mhm.
No, it's more. It has the look of you know of a Solus remake, um, because just look at it. Like, literally look at it. Just look how fucking flat and lifeless this art is. Like, yeah, it's, modern and clean and fucking sterile. Like, it's just, you know, they drained all of the fucking personality out of it. Maybe not so much in like the animations, but go and look at like the original pixel art, and it's just so much more lively and vibrant than this, you know. And as far as I can tell, there's no Gen AI here. Um, it's just, um, it's one of those remakes that kind of, you learned how to play the notes, but you never figured out how to actually make music. Like, it's one of those ineffable things.
Hmm.
Um, Now, I have actually looked at some of the reviews on Steam, and it seems like there are other problems, like inaccuracies and missing stuff. I am nowhere near a fan of the New Zealand story to pick those things out.
Hmm.
It's just, yeah, the game looks fine in a vacuum. It's just,
If this was an indie game not being tied to the original New Zealand story, but kind of
I
similar
still,
spiritual successor, this would be a
yeah,
lot better.
it'd be more tolerable, but I still think that this game would look a bit plain and bland.
Mm.
Like, it just, it's just lacking in personality. Like, um, but aside from that, I think the biggest problem, at least in my estimation, is the game feel. Game feel is a very difficult thing to communicate, um, in a lot of cases. But here, I guess the best way to describe it is it's got that sludgy feel that a lot of unoptimized Unity games have. Like it just never felt right in that regard. Like, so otherwise, yeah, it's passable, I guess. Outside of the fact that the bombs are terrible, but I think they might have been terrible in the original version. Look, it's
Mhm.
been a while since I played that. Um, but the bomb has the ghost and goblin arcing bullshit going on here, especially when you get into small spaces.
Mm.
Music's also not nowhere near as catchy as the original. That's probably the second most egregious thing that this game committed in terms of desecrations of classics.
I know I was just having an issue of it not wanting to see my controller.
Yeah, like I said, it's unoptimized.
I mean,
Um,
luckily I am from the emulation generation, so I know how to play 2D platformers with a mouse with keyboard if I need to.
right, and it is a game that translates fairly well to a keyboard. I mean, I should hope so, given how much love it has on computer platforms of the day.
Mhm.
Seriously, there's a whole bunch of them, like Commodore 64, DOS. You know, I could go on. So ultimately, like, yeah, I think, like, I don't think this is a terrible remake, but I don't think it's all that good either. Like, it's passable, especially if you are playing on modern PC, because there's no easy legal way to play the original. Like, unfortunately, there's no Taito Legends or equivalent for Steam. Like, that exists on the Nintendo Switch with the Taito Memories or Taito Memorial, something like that. Plus the Arcade Archive from
Mhm.
Hamster. So I can understand why they aimed this for PC, Steam, along those lines as well. Um, but yeah, ultimately, I think this or this remake's a bit naff, and it's not helping with the price here. Um, it's coming in at a full fat 20 bone, which is not the most egregious pricing I've seen from Taito or a Taito property. Uh, don't look up how much Darius Burst cost. Steam.
Darius.
Sorry, yeah, Darius.
I had to learn
The
it.
point, yeah, yeah. Um, the point is way too fucking expensive, and likewise here as well. Once again, if this game were $10, I'd I'd be ever so nudging towards an actual recommendation, but $20, easy pass. You know, um, not once again, not necessarily saying that there wasn't any sort of love involved in this. It's just um it's one of those remakes that fails to capture what made the original um beloved or notable in the first place. I've seen worse, but I've definitely seen better as well.
Mhm.
Right. So any other questions, comments, or concerns over the New Zealand story Untold Adventure here?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Betty? Okay. All right then. So yeah, that'll about do it for not just this review, but this review session. So coming up on the week ahead, on Wednesday, June 10th, we'll be welcoming back to our program Tisa Foster of Ponderosa Games. Um, we had Ponderosa Games on the program a few years ago, and we talked about their debut title in Catagram. If you don't remember what that was, it is a relaxing word game with threads and cats, released for iOS and Android. And likewise, they have just released their second title, The Rhymatory, a whimsical rhyming game. Um, need a challenging but a cozy escape with a plethora of chandeliers? Dive into a whimsical steampunk world where rhymes abound. The Rhymatory is a delightfully goofy word game offering over 300 handcrafted riddles to solve. For each riddle, you must answer a pair of rhyming words. A fox, an owl, and a crow will accompany you to provide hints as needed and brew a steady supply of tea. Um, and it is indeed available now on iOS and Android as well. Um, in contrast to the first game, this is actually a paid app, which definitely is going to come up in conversation, um, especially on Android, because not only is it a paid app there, it's technically a premium app. Anything above $1 is considered to be a premium product on Android, especially on Android. And this is clocking in at $3. So we'll see how that's working out for them. hopefully we can figure out either a capture solution or they can provide us with some footage because this is a mobile title and Teddy does not have good ways to capture Android
No, I do
games.
not.
So more on that in the days ahead. And we will also be having our main discussion on the Summer Game Fest and the various conferences that have transpired since last Wednesday. Going to be honest, that's probably going to be a big chunk of the episode, considering
And also
all
one that's
all the
rumored that
conferences.
possibly happened this week, but isn't confirmed yet.
Yeah, yep. We are expecting a Nintendo Direct in the next couple of days. But that aside, another reminder: MSP is currently on break, and we don't have a Friday show this week. So, with that in mind, until next time, I shall wish you good gaming.